David lived a quiet life in his modest one-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of the city. It was a cozy place filled with the remnants of his late-night reading sessions. Half-empty coffee mugs and an ever-present silence. He liked living alone. It gave him peace. Or so he thought. One stormy night, as heavy rain lashed against his windows, David sat in his dimly lit living room, engrossed in a mystery novel. The wind howled outside, and the occasional crack of thunder punctuated the stillness. He had just turned a particularly chilling page when a strange noise broke his concentration, a soft, rhythmic tapping. David frowned. It sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. Setting his book aside, he got up to investigate. Assuming it was just the rain, or maybe a loose pipe. But when he entered the kitchen, it was empty. The sound had stopped. Shrugging it off, he returned to his chair. Moments later, the tapping started again. This time, it was louder, more insistent. It wasn't coming from the kitchen anymore. It seemed to be coming from the hallway. David's heart began to race. He grabbed his phone, turning on its flashlight, and cautiously walked toward the sound. The hallway was dark, and the beam of light trembled in his unsteady hand. The tapping grew louder with every step. Finally, he reached the end of the hallway, where his front door stood. It was locked, as always. The sound was right behind it now, persistent and deliberate. Gathering his courage, David unlocked the door and flung it open. Nothing. The hallway outside was empty, eerily quiet except for the faint hum of the rain. He stood there for a moment, trying to steady his breathing, before closing the door and locking it again. As he turned back toward the living room, his phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. "Why did you open the door?" David froze. His blood ran cold as he stared at the message, his mind racing. Suddenly, the tapping resumed this time. It was coming from the window in his living room. Slowly, he turned his head. Through the rain-streaked glass, he saw a shadowy figure standing outside, impossibly still. Its face was obscured, but it was unmistakably looking at him. David stumbled backward, nearly dropping his phone. His breath came in shallow gasps as the tapping grew louder, more frantic. Without thinking, he bolted to his bedroom and locked the door behind him. Moments later, his phone buzzed again. "You shouldn't have run, David." And then the lights went out,